Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the Hood Astro Queen. To all of my returning subscribers, this is your girl Megan. And if this is your first time on this channel today, be sure to hit that subscribe button on your way in because you know you want to. So, at the request of a lot of you guys, I am here to do a celebrity birth chart reading on Mr. P. Diddy, aka Sean Combs, aka the Bermuda Triangle of hip hop. Okay, because once people start working with him, you never see from them, hear from them again. They go broke, they die. Okay, so that's just my own personal sentiments towards him. However, a lot of my personal feelings about P. Diddy were very much, I guess you could say, like vindicated or confirmed, as there was an interview that Tasha K did where she basically invited one of his ex-girlfriends on to her platform. And the girl, whose name is, I think it's like Vivian Victoria, y'all correct me in the comment section, but basically she came forth and was like, P. Diddy used to physically beat her, that he was mentally abusive also, and that he forced her to have 2 abortions. And I mean, honestly, I'm not really all that surprised. I've just, when it comes to celebrities in general, I figured out, and without the help of astrology, that they're human. And we know these people for their work. We might admire them creatively, but behind the scenes, these people have shadow sides like everyone else. And I would even argue that their shadow sides go way deeper, because these are people with money, access, resources at their disposal. So, to hear that Diddy is, verbally, mentally, and physically abusive is not, it's not a shocker. It's not like a far stretch claim. There have been several stories that have come out about P. Diddy over the years as it concerns his temperament, the way he treats people, the way he handles situations. I believe his one of his sons, I think it was Justin, the yellow one, the middle one. He played football in college, and it was alleged that Diddy ended up attacking one of his coaches. There was a former chef of his who alleged that basically he sexually harassed her and made her work environment very unpleasant, unsafe, and then taking it back to making the band, where he would require all of these kids to do like very just over the top things, kind of like abusive, tasks, walking miles for cheesecake, which had no type of indirect or direct influence on or impact on their artistic development. You know what I mean? So I said that to say none of this surprises me. However, just for shits and giggles, I took a look at his birth chart, and obviously there are a couple of things that, are very insightful and are worth mentioning. So without further ado, let's get started. So Diddy was born on November 4th, 1969 in Manhattan, New York. And this makes him a Scorpio sun, Virgo moon. Now, right off rip, okay, his sun is at the 12th degree of Scorpio. That number 12 deals with victimization, sacrifice. Him being a Scorpio sun, his sun is conjoined to his Mercury as well in Scorpio, which can make for somebody who very much is concerned with power, especially that Mercury in Scorpio. There's a need to form bonds with people, relationships with people that are going to enable them to have the upper hand, right? Which is very consistent with the accusations being brought forth against him by this young woman, as well as other people. This whole concept of him needing to have the upper hand or be in control of particular situations. I mean, just look at the power structure when it comes to the women that he's dating. He's P. Diddy. He has money. That could be encompassed with Scorpio, having a lot of power, right? Also, Mercury and Scorpio can make for somebody who, if they don't have more constructive ways to channel a lot of that intensity that comes along with that Scorpion energy, they tend to be they can be very deviant type of people, you know, very cruel, very evil, spiteful, vindictive people. Also, very jealous. And I believe the young woman even brought up a situation to where they were at Meek Mill's birthday party, and she wished Meek Mill a happy birthday. Meek reached out to shake her hand. She shook his hand, and Diddy saw them shake hands and was furious. So she said later on that night, he went on to grab her by the hair, drag her, you know, just all kind of stuff, right? She said he mushed her in the face so hard that her nose started bleeding. He tried to beat her with a shoe. So yeah, a lot of jealous behavior is very much in the same vein of like Mercury and Scorpio, or even him having a Scorpio sun. And Mercury and Scorpio can produce personality disorders, which is due to Scorpio's intense nature. When you place it in a planet like Mercury, which is all about your intellect to a certain degree, much like Cancer, Mercury people, you know, these people are governed by their emotions. But with Mercury and Scorpio, it's in a way that's very hidden, you know, with the 8th house and Scorpio theme, hidden, kept away from other people. But without healthy outlets, it will come to a boil, you know. It could boil over, and it could create a lot of chaos, a lot of crisis moments, you know. And the moods are very extreme, right? The emotions, the feelings are very intense and extreme. And, you know, not for nothing, Scorpio is one of those signs that is very much predisposed to like a lot of demonic possession, you know. And so, when I say demonic possession, a lot of people would think of like The Exorcist, like the girl on the bed and her head is spinning around. And, you know, possession can happen on a smaller level. It could be something as simple as a person's mood shifting, you know, your subconscious kind of taking a back seat to another outside force, you know, your body playing a host to certain spirits and entities in a way where, you know, they might be activated and cause you to, you know, do certain things or act a certain way. And it doesn't have to be as drastic as vomiting and spinning your head around across, you know, 360. Like it you know, it can be in very subtle ways, making things like possession a lot more common than a lot of people would probably like to think. But it can also create a lot of mental disturbances. And Diddy does sound like, I mean, I'm no psychologist or psychiatrist, but he got some issues, that's for sure. Now his moon is in Virgo. We don't know exactly what degree because we don't have his time of birth. However, this is actually, it makes a lot of sense because, you know, Virgo is a sign that deals with assimilation. It deals with problem solving. And, you know, a lot of people who have Virgo moons as a result can be very critical. Okay, very critical and fault finding of other people. And a lot of it stems from an inner sense of inferiority or an inner sense of just being insecure within oneself. But, you know, especially in Diddy's case, with him having his moon in Virgo, you know, it can point towards him being very super duper critical, especially as it pertains to women. Virgo is the sign of the builder, him taking on women as build-up projects, right? It could deal with him even dealing with this Victoria lady, looking at her as, or whatever her name is, looking at her as a project, you know, like a something to take on, something to fix. I know there was a moment in the interview where she said, you know, she began to break out, and Diddy looked at her and was like, oh yeah, you need to go see somebody for that because I don't date women with bumps on their face, you know. So very much nitpicky, very much, you know, it could create somebody who's like never satisfied even in relationships with this placement, or when dealing with women. It's always something, it's always an issue. Virgo is also the sign of youth. So this could also reflect his desire for younger women. And, you know, with the whole Lori Harvey thing, we're going to get to that later. But, you know, him having a trend of dating younger women, period, you know. So, yeah, there's that. Also, he has his Pluto at the 26th degree of Virgo. And his South Node is actually at the 18th degree of Virgo. So, I mean, I wouldn't even be surprised if he had, like, very strict weight requirements for the women that he dates. Like, on some, like, if you gain 10 pounds, bitch, we getting you the fuck up out of here. Or I'm finna cater you special meals. You know, Virgo is the sign of health, your diet. You know, I wouldn't even be surprised if, like I said, he is like very critical about their appearance, or, you know, make sure you wear this, don't wear that. I mean, you know, Diddy is definitely very health conscious. So this explains a lot. Him being a Virgo South Node and all of these, like this Virgo energy. Virgo South Nodes especially can be the types to, and even Virgo Moons could definitely be the types to have very special diets. You know, a lot of Virgo Moon or even Virgo South Node people are like vegan at certain points, which is funny because I went on Diddy's Instagram and he posted a video of him and Gucci Mane and a couple other rappers. He was basically introducing them or trying to get them to eat like a vegan burger, which is so Virgo Moon, Virgo South Node. Like, you know, they're very health conscious, very body aware, very much like all things in regards to that sixth house, right? You know, your routine, your habits, and, you know, things that you do on the daily. So, yeah, and as a result, I once again wouldn't be surprised if he kind of did his women the same way, like on some like eat what I tell you to so that you can keep that body right kind of thing. Now, his Mercury and Sun are squaring his Mars, which is at the 29th degree of Capricorn. And that 29 is also known as the Anaretic degree, as well as the crisis degree. It could produce a lot of just high pressure situations, third party interference, which is very interesting, seeing how his Mars is actually conjoined to Lori Harvey's Sun, which, you know, with this number 29 here, could absolutely produce like a three-way love affair, you know, with her being like on the outside. Obviously, I mean, because the young lady in the interview also confirmed that she saw, I guess she was alluding to like what were naked pictures of Lori Harvey and P. Diddy in her phone, or in his phone rather. She stated that the two would leave events together, kind of sneak off, and, you know, like they had something going, you know. And that's very much likely, like I said, with his Mars at the 29th degree conjoined to her Sun. And, you know, a lot of it is about status, you know, especially with this Capricorn energy. It's likely that with this get up, you know, Lori admires him. She admires, you know, or is smitten just about who he is on a power thing. And if you go back and take a look at my reading that I did on Lori Harvey, she has a lot of indicators of like the quintessential gold digger, very much dark side Capricorn type of woman, power hungry, status hungry, you know, fame hungry, and very prone to dating older men, you know. And all of that can be seen with this aspect. But, you know, I have reason to believe that this relationship or whatever this is will be short-lived. And a lot of it is just very sexual on his part, you know, with his Mars, with it being his Mars. You know, a lot of it for him is sex and lust. But, you know, Mars is a type of planet, it's not really enduring. You know, even with it being in Capricorn, this 29 thing kind of throws a monkey wrench in that, you know. I don't see it being a long-lasting, sustainable relationship thing. I think it's something where maybe they both might be benefiting, him having his carnal desires met, and then her, you know, being able to be with a man of power, prestige, and affluence. So there's that. But his Mercury squaring his Mars definitely makes him very much somebody who is like obsessed with power, obsessed with control. He could be very much, I could even see him being the whole abusive, like verbally abusive. Absolutely, because it makes for somebody, just Mars in harsh aspects to Mercury can make for somebody who is very violent when they speak. They can be very aggressive and very hostile, and they tend to lose their temper quite easily. And once again, Mars at the 29th degree, because Mars is also the planet of like your anger, right? How you fight. That 29 adds a level of unpredictability to it, where it could be sudden flare-ups, like sudden, moments where it's like he's doing fine, and then the next thing you know, he snaps, type of thing, right? Him taking it too far, like him being very chill one minute and then going over and beyond the Call of Duty the next. It can also deal with him, like I said, just being very much status driven, but also with his Mars and Capricorn at the 29th degree, it can point towards Diddy even having like a very elitist, attitude, very concerned with his reputation, very concerned with his career, how he looks to other people, and he has no problem defending that. So I wouldn't even be surprised, like, if this interview gains traction, him coming out and vocally, like counteracting the situation. He's either gonna he could either do it on like a public level, like make a statement or whatever, or kind of try to shoot at her credibility, or privately, and that's that Scorpio thing. But either way it goes, it's going to be strategic, it's going to be well planned, well thought out, and he's willing to go to bat for his reputation, because it means everything to him. And this aspect could definitely point towards that. It's Sun squaring his Mars, also him being very competitive, being very much protective of his reputation, and just going about a lot of things in a way where his ultimate goal is to acquire power, so he's gonna make sure he comes out on top with the upper hand. So there's that. His Venus is conjoined to Jupiter. His Venus is at the 22nd degree of Libra. That 22 deals with situations where you either you're in the controller seat, or you're being controlled. Obviously, we can guess which one he is. Also in a man's chart, his Venus deals with women, and Venus in Libra. Venus is dignified in Libra, as it's it naturally rules Libra. However, it can create a man who's very much a ladies' man, okay? A guy who is very much hot to trot. He has to have a lot of women. He's here, there, everywhere, a bit of a womanizer. This is compounded by the fact that his Venus is conjoined to his Jupiter. Okay, Jupiter points to where things get a little bit out of hand, okay? It rules the ninth house. It deals with excess, overindulgence. Him just completely like overdoing it, right? Him not being able to get enough when it comes to women. It could also deal with his interest in like more rather exotic women. Jupiter can deal with foreign things that are foreign, or exotic, special, extraordinary kind of thing. So there's that. And then also money wise, this definitely makes Diddy just on point when it comes to money. Very much on point. Also, because Libra does deal with the legal system, it could deal with the police. I wouldn't be surprised if he actually sues this chick, or even Tasha K for that matter, or anyone else who reports on it. Going back to him having his Sun squaring his Mars, and him having his Mars at the 29th degree of Capricorn, he's willing to fight for his image. He's willing to fight for his reputation. But with that 29 there, I'm more inclined to believe that he's going to have to, there are going to be more situations that come up in the future. So there could be other women, other circumstances that are going to cause him to have to really like buckle down and like go to war and really try to do this whole like crisis management thing. I mean, it just is what it is. His sun is opposing his Saturn at the 4th degree of Taurus, which could deal with him. Really, it can make somebody insecure, which, I mean, it kind of reinforces, you know, other indicators of that in this chart. But it can make somebody who looks towards their ability to yield power over people, places, and things to kind of give them their own sense of value and self-esteem. Because, you know, Taurus does deal with, like, it's the house of values. It's, you know, the things that you assign meaning to and that really make you feel good. This could even extend to money, as this aspect could create somebody who uses their money and, like, their actual, like, physical items and objects and possessions to really feel important and big, and even use them against other people, you know. And it's interesting because, once again, the lady was talking about how Diddy was able to do this for her, and he bought her a house and whatever. Or even when she made him upset, the first thing he would say is like, "Bitch, get out my house," type of thing. Just typical behavior for a lot of men in Hollywood, to be quite honest, throwing their power and their wealth and their weight around. But, you know, his sun opposing his Saturn absolutely in Taurus absolutely makes him a prime candidate for that. And it's actually not surprising at all. It can make him very materialistic, you know, who has a very strong streak of like being like superficial and all about the glitz and the glam, and, you know, just even overindulging in like his sensual pleasures. Also, Taurus is known as the cult leader. You know, Taurus can definitely be like an advisor kind of thing. Like, you know, it creates an energy of authoritativeness. So yeah, you know, in negative aspects to his sun and Mercury, it could absolutely make Diddy somebody who is like very tyrannical, which kind of supports this underlying theme of him being like controlling as fuck. There's that. Also, his Mars is squaring his Saturn, which, I mean, could make him, once again, it reinforces this theme of him being controlling, him being very much the type of person to carefully orchestrate how he wants to look to the public. But it can also point towards somebody who resorts to tantrums when they don't get their way, okay? Somebody who can, if that energy, once again, is not channeled correctly, can really end up being like violent and explosive and just extremely critical and judgmental of other people, and actually would even be willing to you know, be ruthless in their quest to carry out whatever it is that their mission is, whatever it is that their agendas are. So, you know, once again, I mean, this is kind of like a common theme within Diddy's chart. Like, the man, I don't know, he needs help. And his Chiron is in Aries, and, you know, Chiron deals with the wounded healer. It deals with points or areas in your life that are extraordinary, exceptional, but it can also indicate psychological wounds as well as physical wounds, okay? And his Chiron is opposing his Pluto, which, I mean, can point towards him being violent, quite frankly, explosive. It can point towards him. I would even hate to be a person who works for him, to be quite honest. With his Pluto being in Virgo, you know, that could also deal with assistance. people in the workplace. It could deal with him being somebody who is very much a pighead. And actually, now that we're talking about it, taking it back to the what was she? His cook. You know, Virgos actually is also one of the signs of cooking. So I mean, you know, him, you know, being inappropriate, and I would even argue maybe even abusive towards his chef, his former chef, his cook. So or him even being, just like I said, tyrannical, destructive, violent, even abusive towards the people who work for him or the people around him every day. You know, so like why wouldn't that extend over to the women he deals with? That's crazy. His Chiron is also opposing his Uranus. So I mean, and his Uranus is at the 6th degree of Libra. So this could point towards Diddy not being afraid to get his hands dirty, especially when it comes to like fighting in court or doing what he has to do behind the scenes type of thing. You know, that Libra is very, very, very strategic. But all in all, especially just with him being the type of person he is, right? Diddy's a damn near billionaire. He's somebody who is very well connected. And, I mean, just looking at all the aspects of his chart here, he's a fucked up person, but he's also very smart, very perceptive, very well aware of human psychology, thanks to that Scorpio energy, and just very much like able to like strategize, you know. And like I said, with his reputation, with him valuing it so much, I don't think he's going to take this like surviving PDiddy thing, you know, lying down. He's just not. And then with his Mars forming a sextile to his Neptune, which is at the 27th degree of Scorpio, I'm inclined to believe that, you know, he might even get away with it, you know, like as far as like being able to successfully kind of, you know, keep these stories at bay or prevent them from really gaining traction and, you know, being held accountable on a larger level. And a lot of that is going to deal with him pulling strings behind the scenes with this Scorpio energy here. So yeah, and Neptune deals with illusions and lies and conspiracy. So yeah, he's I wouldn't, you know, be surprised if Diddy was the type of person to really fight dirty. So yeah, there's that. Yeah, when y'all gonna stop letting these rich niggas dog y'all out? I know it's tempting, you know, the money's good, but you know, like if you can be bought, they gonna treat you like an object, period. And that's on period. So that concludes my reading on Sean P. Diddy Combs. Yeah, whatever she said he did that shit. Y'all drop a comment below. Let me know what you thought of the reading, as well as any suggestions you may have for future celeb readings. And make sure you practice unconditional self-love so that you can love others. And until next time, I holla.